Welcome back to the show, Your Real Estate Today. You got a little country western going there, so I figured I'd give you my country western voice. No? Doesn't do it, huh?
No.
Oh, well,
Missing a
I'll
hat.
get back to the realty part. Yeah, I don't have a cowboy hat on.
Yeah.
Yeah, my boots are actually driving shoes today. Well, okay. They're actually gym shoes, but nobody can see that part. All right, so love to talk to you all more. Thank you. I'm Paul Jamison, your host, owner of the Jamison family of real estate companies, Jamison Realty, Jamison Property Management, Jamison Property Investments, here with Sandy Dickinson with Cross Country Mortgage, spending this February Saturday with you. So thankful you're with us. You know, Sandy, there's a lot of things that people need to understand that as they come into this spring market, which we're getting ready to. So you should be applying for loans right now if you're thinking about buying or being a part of this market. So you should definitely be applying, right?
Yes,
so what
that's
can
true.
affect your rate or your payment as you get ready to
Yeah,
do?
so lots of times I'll get these phone calls, hey, what's your rate? And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's such a loaded question because it depends on so many things. What type of mortgage you're buying, what type of housing you're buying, whether it's a condo or a house or a duplex or a geodesic or something underground. Like there's so many types of houses that affects your rate and your payment. Also, what your loan to value is, how much money you're putting down, what your credit score is. It just goes on and on and on about what can affect the rate. Whether you're a first-time buyer, there's new rules around that. You're given some credits for that. Type of mortgage, whether it's 30, 15, whether it's, a special first-time buyer program, whether it's an ARM, whether it's some sort of a bank statement program. Like there's just so many variables. It's impossible for someone to call and say, hey, what's your rate? And for me to throw out a rate because it can vary so much.
Wow. I mean, credit, you said like a whole stinking mouthful, right? So
Yes, I did.
Okay.
It's a science fair project at this point.
Okay. So your credit score.
Yeah. So
you can affect your payment by improving your credit score.
Absolutely. So 740 and above, best payment, best rate. If you're above 760, sometimes you get a little extra perk. And remember that jumbo loans are different than conforming loans. Jumbo's over 756, I think now. I should go back and look at that because they changed it recently. But all that affects your payment and your rate. But credit score is huge. That's one of the really big ones.
Right. And you have some kind of fancy tool to do a soft pull on somebody's credit, right?
We do. So we can do a soft pull, which we do probably 50% of the time, unless somebody just knows they have great credit and they know our credit reports will last 3 or 4 months, so we don't have to keep pulling. So, but soft pulls are great because even with the soft pull, I can run a wizard or a scenario and see what can pop that rate up pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's an awesome tool. I really like that. All right. So you can also affect the payment by, as you mentioned before, picking your terms, loan terms, amount of years,
Right. So
type of
15-year
loan.
versus 30 versus 20 years. Is it going to be interest only? All those things make a difference term wise.
I think that's great.
And some people don't realize we have 15, 20, 25. Sometimes we have 10, 11, 12, 13, all kinds of terms. So especially when in refis, that makes a difference. But mostly we do 30-year.
Right. All right. So let's say, for example, that you get a 30-year mortgage and the rate is 6%. Okay. Let's pretend that for a minute. All right. And the house cost is $200,000. You put 20% down, that's $40,000. So your loan is $160,000. Now, you're not going to need your calculator.
Okay, I got it out just in case.
Okay, so you got 100. I know. I see you ciphering really quickly because I won't set you up that way. Although it's early in the show. All right, so you got $160,000 loan, right? You're paying 6%. on that loan. So the cost of your $40,000, your money down,
Mm-hmm.
you're paying 6% back to the bank, basically against your cash, right?
Against your cash
Yeah, you've got 40,000 of your own cash out of
of your
pocket you
investment.
can't
Right,
put to
right,
work,
right, right,
right?
right.
Right.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay. All right. So now, so my whole thing is, and this is twisted math, okay? But let's say you decided to put 40% down instead of
Mhm.
20. So instead of putting 40,000 down, you put 80,000 down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In my mind, if I'm working on an investment, I see the higher return on my money going to work because I've reduced my payment and that money is working for me as it relates to that piece of real estate. Now, that's not always the math that you do when you're buying your primary home, but when I'm buying an investment property, the more I put down, I just need to make sure that the more I put down, the more I see that money working. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it that way. Depending on the appreciation of the home too, um, your return on investment might be higher because if you're just using your investment part with less you put down. But you have to look at all kinds of stuff, and you're an expert at doing that.
Yeah,
What your rental is and all kinds of stuff, and
right.
you've studied that to the rim.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost to the point I should write a book. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, wait, you did.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. Opportunity is knocking. You could get it at pauljamison.com or on Amazon. Buy now. All right. So making a larger down payment can actually be a benefit. Do the math, see if it makes sense. See what kind of return you're getting on that additional cash because it may get you a better return inside your real estate.
And it
That's
might get you a tiny bit better a rate too.
oh,
Hello.
nice for sneaking that in there. Okay. All right, good. What about if you use it to buy mortgage points? Can you reduce your payment?
Yes, yes. So depending on the market, like right now, um, it at one point will almost buy you a 0.5% in rate, and that's very atypical. Typically, 1 point will only get you a quarter in rate. So the buy downs are pretty good right now. So I would always like just talk with your mortgage lender and see the best scenario for your situation. But
Right,
definitely, that does reduce your payment.
right. Okay. So let's talk about the gamble of rate lock, right?
Okay,
The gamble of rate lock. Sometimes you lock and you lose.
correct.
Sometimes you lock and you win.
Yes.
But every time you lock, in my mind, you win. Now, why would I say that? Because I'm not a gambler. And if the rate is close to where I am, I know the volatility of rates. You know the volatility of rates, Sandy. You
Mm-hmm.
know that you can't time rates. It's
No,
a losing game.
it is.
How many times have you locked and told somebody to lock, and then the rate jumps up a point or a full point or a half a point or a quarter a point, and they're like, dang, I should have locked.
Yeah, I mean, that happens. So we talk about that very first thing. So if you're comfortable with the payment, then lock it and don't worry about it. Right now it's tricky because all the news coming out, people are like, yeah, but they're trending down. So maybe maybe I should play the market. That's always, for me, it's always up to the client. But I don't see it moving that much in 30 days or whatever the time is when you're going to close the loan.
Don't
So,
gamble. Yeah, don't gamble. It's funny. We're getting ready to go to break, but I just have to make a statement. In the studio, we have new chairs.
really,
I like them. They don't squeak, which is a big thing because you used to be listening to me on the radio and goes, "Ear, ear, ear, ear," and you go, God, that guy's old. Or, you get on one and you'd be like, all of a sudden you'd be sitting here and the air would let out of the seat and you just keep going below the microphone. And pretty soon you're under the counter just trying to finish a segment. So anyway, thanks for the new chairs. You're the
Good
man,
for you.
TJ. They're brand spanking new chairs. I can't wait for Hancock to come in here and screw them all up. All right. Well, we'll be right back to show you real estate today here on News Talk 1110 99.3 WBT. Don't go anywhere. Sandy and I got lots to tell you.